Hello, PreCalculus. Let's see how you did on today's graphs. So here was number 9. I don't have a negative sign up front, so no reflection. My amplitude is this number here, so 5 halves. That means we're going to go above the midline 5 halves and below the midline 5 halves. Do not have a period changer because there's nothing in front of x, so my period is 2 pi, which is our normal period for sine. Our phase shift, though, is going to be the opposite of this guy, which is going to be positive pi. So we're going to shift to the right pi. We do have a vertical shift for this one, up 3, which means our midline is going to y equals 3. Our domain for all sine and cosines is negative infinity to positive infinity. And we'll figure out our range in just a second. All right, so now we have everything to graph it. Our midline is at 3. That would be right here. All right. Our phase shift is pi to the right, so instead of starting here and ending at 2 pi, we are going to start at pi and end at 3 pi. We're shifting everything to the right pi. Our period is still 2 pi. See anything else special? No reflection. And this is a sine graph. So remember, for sine graphs, we start at our midline, we go up, come back to our midline, we go down and back to the midline. So at either end for sine, we're on the midline. In the middle, we're also crossing the midline. Halfway between here and that midpoint is when I'm going to be high. So at 3 pi over 2, I'm going to go up to my maximum point, which is 5 halves above the midline. So here's 2 halves, 4 halves. This is 5 halves above the midline, or 2.5 above the midline. So over here, halfway between these two midpoints, we're going to go down 2.5 below the midline. And we can finish out that pattern. So here we'd be below the midline, back to the midline, above the midline, back to the midline, below the midline, back to the midline, above the midline, back to the midline. So here is our somewhat decent looking sine curve. All right. All right, number 10, we've got negative. What is that negative going to do? It's going to flip it, Miss Harris. Oh, helps you fit the actual function. So negative 5 sine x over 2 plus pi over 6. So this is one of those hard ones because we got a period changer and a phase shift in the same one. But we can do it. First, do we have a reflection? Yes, we've got a negative sign. We've also got an amplitude changer of 5. Our period normally is 2 pi, but this time we're going to divide it by a half. But really we're not, right? Because this is going to flip up and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2. We do the opposite, we will multiply by 2, which is 4 pi. All right, for a phase shift, same thing. Pi over 6, remember we're going to make it negative, because it's going to be the opposite of pi, and then divide it by whatever was in front of x. It's x over 2, but remember, that's the same thing as 1/2 x. So we're dividing by a half. So this will be negative pi over 6 times 2 over 1. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and so my phase shift is negative pi over 3. My vertical shift, I don't have anything happening out here, so I have no vertical shift, which means my midline is y equals 0. My domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. All right, so let's see. Midline is at 0. Nothing's changed about that. So we're going right here. We've got a sine function, so remember we're going to start at midline, go high, go low, and down, but this one is reflected, so we're going to go down and then up and then down. But first we're going to figure out where that's happening. We have a phase shift to the left pi over 3, so this is where it's going to start my phase, and it's supposed to go 4 pi. Problem is I don't have enough room to go 4 pi. So this is one where I'm going to have to put half of my period over here and half of my period over here. So instead of being able to go all the way out to 2 pi, right, so what would half of my period be? 2 pi, right, because half of 4 pi is 2. So it would go from 0 to 2, but we're shifting to the left pi over 3. So half of my period is going to be here. The other half of my 4 pi period is going to be in this direction. So minus pi over 3 minus 2 pi would be right back over here. It's actually over here, right? So we're a little bit back over here is where it's going to end. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's actually over here. So all right, there you go. This is one half of my period. Here's the other half. Normally we would start high and then go down low, but this one got reflected with that negative sign. So we're going to go down low, and then it's going to go up high. So we are going down by a factor of 5. Halfway between these two is where I'm going to have that low point. So like I just counted, there's 12 in between here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my midpoint between those two. That's where I should be at my minimum. Should be a maximum, but it got reflected down to a minimum. Likewise, over here, halfway between these two, is where I'm going to have my maximum, which is 5 above my midpoint. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is where I'm going to be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is not going to be perfect, but you're going to get an idea. Going through the 0 there, and then get all the way down to that minimum. Oh, try this again. How about something more like that? And then it's going to curve back that way. All right, so that's a little messy. These, like I said, are hard when you've got the phase shift and the period shift or period changer all in one problem. It's going to be a bonus on your test. So don't stress it too much, but it's good to know how to do it because you might see it again when you get to some of your other courses later on in college. All right, coming back for the next video will be number 11 and 12.